Next question, which comes from Natalie Lamis.
Yeah, my question is for Melinda. Last week we saw the younger sister of Miley Cyrus try to sell what could only be described as a line of whorish children's clothing. We also saw a pornographic cartoon avatar game marketed at tweens. So in the absence of a consumer outcry over these damaging products, should government step in to regulate the market?
Melinda.
Well, first of all, there isn't an absence of an outcry, and you've given me a wonderful opportunity to promote a new organisation that I've just launched.
If you could do that very briefly,
I will.
because we'd actually like to hear your answer.
If you go to collectiveshout.org, you can find out all about it. Naming and shaming corporations, advertisers and marketers who objectify women and sexualise girls to sell products and services. There's a huge consumer outcry. It's massive. I've been blogging on these issues in the last month, and thousands and thousands of hits. There is deep concern, and we're going to mobilise and harness that concern into a strategic campaign, so you're very welcome to join up. Noah Cyrus, Miley's younger sister, 9 years old, has started a lingerie line for children. You mentioned the Avatar. That's a recent game, again, where little girls can pretend to adopt prostitute-like characters and, you know, engage in sexual relationships and all kinds of things. These are just a couple of recent examples. There are so many because what we are doing is wallpapering our society with these hypersexualised messages for little girls especially, telling them that they need to adopt these prostitute-like behaviours. We're seeing the enmeshing of sex industry practices throughout the culture. And yet we have the defenders of these practices, including pornography, hacking into the Australian Parliament House computer network, demanding their right. And I'll quote from these porn vigilantes who put out a statement under the name Operation Titstorm, and this is how much they respect women. I mean, let's call this thing, you know, Operation Cockstorm, perhaps, because that's actually more accurate. It's their right, their sense of entitlement. They've held this up as a civil right, the right to masturbate. To a computer, this has somehow turned into a civil right. You've really got me going on this. But they put out this statement saying the Australian government will learn that one does not mess with our pornography. No one messes with our access to perfectly legal or illegal content for any reason. Hacking the system, making it dysfunctional for days to demand their rights to view even illegal pornography.
Let's hear from the government on this. And you're a father of a daughter as well, so three daughters.
I've got three too.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
not too bad so far. Not too bad so far.
One of mine's here tonight, actually. It's hard work.
I love all three of them dearly. One's 15 and she had a go at me about Tony Abbott's comments the other day and said what ridiculous nonsense they were.
Oh, come on.
True story. I wasn't quite sure how to respond either, I must confess.
Go back to the question.
But and two little girls aged 5 and 3 who I also love dearly. And frankly, although I think the issues of censorship are very tricky in practice, and the particular question that's been in play here recently is hard to deal with broadly in the same view, that I think some of the stuff that's emerged in recent time is frankly pretty appalling, and there is a creeping phenomenon going on in our society which it's really hard for governments to deal with, and public opinion has got a big role to play, but we have got to play a sophisticated role in dealing with it. So it's not an easy thing to deal with. Blanket censorship and just Big Brother stuff won't work. It'll be counterproductive, but we do have an obligation to address it.
Well, free speech shouldn't mean hate speech. I think we should agree on that.
Oh, well, I've got 4 daughters. I mean, it's just...
He wins.
He wins. Well, it's just a no-brainer. I mean, who are these creeps? You know, why do we have to even discuss it? I mean, it's just knock it out.
Yeah, but how? In what form? You mean the government step in and knock it out?
Well, you can't. I mean, if someone is inspiring people to do a criminal act, to basically get their excitement from a child, and I have to somehow condone it or somehow give them some placid excuse for it, no, I'm not going to do that. These people are creepy, horrible bits of work. Get rid of them.
What do you mean by get rid of them? I mean, Melinda's suggesting...
Get them off the internet.
Melinda is suggesting a campaign in which consumers target corporations that I think that do the wrong thing, and that is consumer advocacy. You stepping in to decide what may or may not be banned is not something I'm comfortable with.
But, well, I'm very comfortable with it. If I see a...
Of course you're comfortable comfortable with it.
Yeah, but if I see a child on the internet being abused, I don't think I have to ring up someone to get a clarification on it.
No. Sorry, there are a couple of other issues running here. We're talking about the sexualisation of children, not necessarily.
It all starts with it all starts with the sort of the happy, the moving towards the sexualisation of the child and how they're advertised and how they're presented, and that's in inspiring the desires of blokes and how they.
It's
participate in
packaging
this.
children
it's
as sexually available and possessing a sexual knowingness. This is what these pornographic messages are doing, and it's eventually inspiring crimes of violence against women and children. And as I said, free speech shouldn't mean hate speech, and I think that's where you draw the limits.
We have run out of time. Clearly, we'll need to come back to this subject. Please thank our panellists: Rebecca Huntley, Barnaby Joyce, Melinda Tankard-Rees, Lindsay Tanner, Satyajit Das.